What's up, Gear Mortals? Trey Xavier here. On today's edition of Gear God's Quality Control, I'm here with the one and only MYRONE. How are you doing, dude?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Today we're going to take a look at the Torpedo C.A.B M from 2 Notes. It's like many 2 Notes cab loaders, but it's tiny, and it has most of the same stuff. It's like a little bit more limited than like some of the larger ones. Obviously, it can only hold so much mojo inside of a tiny package. Basically, it's a cab loader. It has a power amp sim. So the reason that I thought of you when it came time to do a demo of this is because we've talked a bit here and there about your love for various kinds of fly rigs, because you'll do things like gigs with DJs or something, and you just want to show up, put the thing on the ground, plug into the PA basically, and go, right?
Right, that's my vibe. I love it.
One cool thing about 2 Notes is that you can audition cabs from their like marketplace. You can like borrow one to try it out.
Oh, for real? That's
yeah.
sick.
It's like renting a cab, but instead of going to SIR, picking the thing up, putting it in,
right.
and testing it out in your studio, which you might not have for several hours, you just go boop, and then you hear it. And it does a bunch of other things that a physical cab won't do. And with lots of big bands going direct, Metallica is all on modelers. Like they have a rack of Axe effects. They have like 7 Axe effects in the rack, and I don't think they use anything else. I haven't actually gone to see them, but
I'm sure it sounds amazing.
Of course it does. Well, especially if they're going into a like 500,000 watt PA or whatever, like some huge massive thing that fills literally a whole stadium, 50,000 people. Like nobody's like, oh, I can hear that amp he's got on stage. Nobody, that's not real.
Yeah, no.
So of course this is only cab and power amp modeling, which means we still need some kind of a preamp sound. So you have brought a couple of possibilities. We've got a couple of my things here. You brought this guy. Whoop. Tell me about this fun doodad.
Oh, well, this is the Tech 21 Fly Rig, that's kind of my favorite thing for whenever I'm in a situation where like I don't know what's going on, whether if I'm going direct or if there's an amp. Like I can bring this and I've got all my bases covered. It's got a delay with a tap tempo. It's got I think it's like the SansAmp Blonde is this one. So it's basically like a clean Fender amp simulator. It's turned off right now because we're gonna run into the cab. And then it's got like a plexi style distortion with a boost in the front of it. And this thing I've used it on recordings. I've used it live, like both into an amp, both into the board. Like it's great. I think it's pretty much all analog too, which is kind of like a unique flavor. I know some people get kind of hung up about like, oh, I don't like analog to digital to analog conversion or whatever. So it does kind of have like that unique twist.
On that note, let's talk about how you wrote the most popular post that Gear Gods has ever had, I think, on our website. So MYRONE here wrote probably the best thing you'll ever read on Gear Gods. No offense to all of our writers. It was called Why Solid State Amps Are Better Than Tube for Metal, and you talked about all the different
I forget
metal
what I
heads.
said. I was honestly
amazing.
Somewhat offended you brought this subject. No, I'm playing.
Basically, the follow-up was a post about your love for the Rockman.
Oh yeah,
which is
the
kind
original.
of where all this whole idea even came from. The fact that you could have something that was not an amp and record it, and it would sound like an amp. And now we've got a very similar type of technology, and we're going to combine it with this futuristic digital cab loader. We've also got the EVH 5150 and a couple of little guys, the Super Metal Mini from Ibanez. We're going to try a couple different things and see what sounds the best.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Cool, so check this out. So like right now, this one has the power amp off. There's a couple different modes. Mode IR loader, so we can turn power amp on or off, which makes it sound slightly different. Personally, I think that power amp simulation makes a huge difference, like a huge difference in your sound.
Well, yeah, because that's like the the little bit of extra like compression and saturation that makes it feel more like an amp or whatever.
Yeah.
Do we have options as far as
Yes.
power amp go? Do
We
they have a Randall like solid state power amp in there? That's like
I think I have to change the mode in order to do that. Let's see. Ah, here we go. Type pentode, triode, model.
Okay,
There we go. All right, so we've got. Okay, we got SE6L6.
okay.
SE-EL34s. For some reason, it's quieter. EL84s. KT88s. PP6L6. EL34s. EL84s. Not a lot of low end in those. KT88s. And that's it. No Randall solid state. Sorry, bro.
So we're making a fly rig. So my thinking is we're gonna want like a clean power section. So we probably want like a 6L6 or like a KT88 vibe.
Okay.
Something
that's
like
very
robust
full
and
range.
clean, and we're not really like saturating the power section, because if we're building a fly rig, we're gonna need, you know, a clean tone and a dirty tone. So we're gonna want the preamp pedal, whatever it is, to do most of the work.
Right.
I'm into this PP 6L6
Cool.
vibe. Let me try it without like. Yeah, that should work. Maybe we like wire up all the, like the drives. It's like you kind of want to pick a drive that like feels good, and then like tailor the cab to like match the drive. So I guess we could like keep this here, and then maybe
Pop
like
some of these other guys on there.
yeah. I do like this alternating white and blue color scheme. So the most important thing about your pedal board is to make sure that you got like an aesthetic choice that you have made. If we're alternating white and blue, maybe there's like a stage outfit that we'll wear at some point that goes with that. The speed of light is faster than the speed of sound. So people will see you before they hear you. So it's important to make sure that your pedal board is...
And the size of arenas that we're going to be playing with this board,
Well,
that's doubly important. Because
Yeah.
you know, it'll get to them far
There's
before.
going to be a camera that just focuses on it, and then it's going to be displayed on the big screen. In fact, they don't even shoot the band anymore. You know,
It's just pedals.
It's just pedal board vision.
Right off the bat, this is already for a 5-minute build. That looks pretty great, actually.
So the Hustle Drive, I actually used on a lot of the earlier MYRONE recordings. It's basically like a Hustle Drive into a clean amp is like my lead tone. So like my internationally renowned hit, Exclusive Coupe. Is that pedal. Yeah, big fan. I've never used the Super Metal before, so I'm about to turn this on. Wait, what are the controls?
Edge, attack,
Edge,
punch, and level.
I mean, they could have just called it bass, middle, and treble, but...
And it's friggin' sparkly blue. And of course, this has a built-in gate, so you don't have to add another gate.
The 5150 overdrive is actually part of my live rig right now.
Really?
Yeah, I love it.
We've got now 3-4 flavors of drive. Let's just cycle through them.
Might be a little too much.
That's probably too much, but you know what? There's no such thing as overkill.
But there is such thing as overdrive.
There is. All right.
Terrible.
Why don't you play me the most recent single from your new album?
Yes,
Guitar
the one,
Magic.
The one that's the song that's burning up the Spotify artist app on my phone right now. It's a song called Subroutine, which is actually probably a good song to like sound check with, because it's got some, you know, it's got some chunky rhythm parts. It's got some leads. I guess I kind of like finding like my rhythm tone first. So
Okay.
So right off the bat, I'm noticing that the Hustle Drive has like a nice like mid-range and kind of boost to it, and the highs are kind of tame. But what I would think I would do is probably rolling the gain down on this, or maybe roll the gain down on this, and like, and have that be the rhythm sound, and then we could like cascade the Hustle Drive
if you want more.
The plexi, that's kind of like a more like 70s kind of loose tone, and then we could switch it up, and then here's our modern metal. People will be like, "This is not a modern metal tone." But that's like a little bit more of like a tighter vibe. We'll just do it like it's my gig. So we're gonna do 5150 overdrive, and then Hustle Drive for a boost, and then we'll probably kick on. The delay pedal in here is so good. I kind of like. I do like the kind of Eddie Van Halen like delay time, which is kind of like around there. All right, so we got our delay time set in. Now that we've kind of got like our vibe, let's get in the cab machine and tear it up.
Essentially, there are 3 modes in the C.A.B. There's arcade mode, simulation mode, and just IR loader. The difference is basically you can load just a ye old IR, like a wave type of IR, but you can still use the power amp, EQ, reverb, all that. Then simulation, so 2 Notes has like a proprietary kind of C.A.B. sim software. You can like move the mic around and all that. So of course you have to use their C.A.B. sounds. You have to download it from their website and all that in order for it to work with this kind of thing. And it's really, really super powerful, depending on the style of music that you're playing, the kind of vibe and sound that you are looking for. That could be super useful, really handy. So we're actually going direct from this into Pro Tools, and that's all you're hearing. This is an XLR cable. We're going straight into my interface, and then that's it. So everything you're hearing is the guitar into these preamp and effects types of sounds, and then power amp, C.A.B. sound, and some EQ, and potentially also reverb. The advantage of this, of course, is that you can either go direct to front of house, or you can go into some kind of like an FR amps type of situation, like a flat powered C.A.B. Right, so we were on IR loader motor. IR loader boat. IR motor loader. Oh, okay. So this is actually one of my C.A.Bs.
Oh.
It's a blend.
Whoopsie.
It's like a Carvin Legacy, which I really like for the top end, with like a Fredman technique, you know, like when you take 257s and you just touch the tips. And then there's like a ribbon mic, I think, on the low end on a different C.A.B. I'm not really sure. I don't remember, but I blended them together and it's cool. Here's what it sounds like without a C.A.B. For anyone who's never heard, basically sounds like a fuzz pedal. Now there's an EQ on here. It's on, but it's currently not doing anything. They're all set to 0. Okay. I like to boost a little 2K. Play a bit for me. That's too much, but like when you want something to really cut through, I like a little bit of that. I don't know what you like. You got any?
Sometimes a fun one is just to take the 800 hertz and just do that with it.
Just scoop the living life out of it. Demonetized.
That's actually really handy dandy.
And then there's a number of reverbs.
Oh, sick.
Wow. Studio A, Studio B, basement, loft, Hall A, Hall B, crypt, and cathedral.
Ooh, crypt. Crank it up all the way. I'm interested just to hear what the crypt sounds like. I mean, that's kind of a cool vibe. I like that it's kind of like a short tail. It just makes it feel a little bit more juicy, you know?
Yeah, let's try Cathedral. Now this is with a ton of it on. This is at 45%.
Yeah, that sounds really
Studio
good.
A.
Studio A+. And then you can like get the delay.
I'm transported. Well, this wasn't really meant to be a super deep dive on the Cab M, just to get an idea of what it can do.
I mean, it's kind of like the possibilities are sort of endless.
Not just an awesome fly rig, it's got probably way more sounds than the average person would need. So now I was hoping that you would show me how to play Subroutine. Does that sound like a good
Sounds like a plan.
All right, here we go. Whoa! Oh, God, we gotta stop doing that! Jeebus, okay. So now you can show me how to play your song Subroutine from your album Guitar Magic.
Yeah. So, well, I guess we'll take like the opening section and goes like this. 1, 2, I hope I play it right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right.
That's the first verse. You know, it's one of those like Sean Lane type things where you've always got the bar like kind of in your pinky finger. So I guess that opening lick is. Okay. So you kind of like.
Those are the notes.
Those are the notes.
How are you expressing it? You're sliding from the above.
Yeah. There you go. I think what's going on, if I was gonna break this down, is like, and then as I slide up.
So you're actually pushing it.
Yeah.
Pushing it.
Yeah. That's basically it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's a. Oh.
There you go. And then the same thing again. Yeah.
Also a dip on that note.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
I need to practice with the bar a little bit.
I'm really not pressing it down like that much.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, there you
I think
go.
you know what it is? I wasn't anchoring my hand.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I was leaning on the bar too much. If I anchor my hand on the string,
yeah.
and then just kind of.
Your mileage may vary, but I kind of like hitting the bar with sort of right here, like kind of where the whatever joint this is. That's kind of where I like to anchor the bar. And then if I want to do like crazy vibrato stuff, I just curl up my pinky.
All right, what's next?
Uh-huh. There you go, yeah.
For me, it's thinking about the momentum of the notes, like keeping a continuous momentum going, like whether it's by hammering on, kind of a whammy, like hammer on whammy thing.
Literally, all I did was just like watch videos of Jeff Beck like over and over again, and like I still feel like I'm doing a bad Jeff Beck impersonation when I do all this stuff. But
Was that the whole thing, all the way?
that's
up to
the
that
first
last?
verse, yeah.
Cool. Well, that's plenty for me. Tell us a little bit about the production of the album. Like, what went into it? What's your jam? How do you do it? You don't have to tell us any trade secrets.
Well, I mean, I wish I had some. You know, I kind of make it all on my laptop in my room in Ableton. I think like on this album, like every song, like all the mixes are different. I use different drum plugins for like every song. I always do it from the ground up, which is probably a little bit more time consuming and inefficient, but I figure out like little cool sounding things and I get bored and I'm like, all right, switch up the approach.
Yeah.
A lot of it is this guitar into an Apogee Duet. Name like an amp simulator software, I've probably used it. Like Guitar Rig, the Line 6 Helix stuff is great. Well, I think the thing on the record that I'm most proud of is there's a piano solo on Angle of Attack at the end that like I played and I'm like, I cannot believe I played. Like I don't ask me to ever play it again because it's not gonna happen. But like,
But you were feeling it.
I got into it and nailed it. I have like a couple of outboard synths that I use, sparingly, but I go through phases where, I try to do as much outside as possible, and then some days I'll just do everything with the stock Ableton plugins. I wish I had a set approach. I probably would be making a lot more stuff.
Even like you're saying, if you're kind of working from the ground up every time, it's not like you have to hire a band and go into the studio and like you could still have much higher output than the average person because you're doing it entirely yourself. Mostly in the box. I mean, how long does it take you to make a song start to finish? Like,
well, it depends. I've done some songs like just like in a couple hours, and then other songs take me like a week. The one thing in common that like all the MYRONE songs have is when I do them, usually I have like a rough skeleton of the song in like 10 minutes. I write a lot of them just on like keyboard. Like I try not to write as much as possible on guitar. And so what I do is like I'll find like a cool like piano or like keyboard patch, something that like is inspiring. It's not just like a dry piano. I'll figure out like a melody and like cool chords, and I'll try to get like the whole like structure just like
knock it out.
And then the most time consuming part is just putting all the meat on everything.
Yeah.
Programming the drums, which always takes me forever because I'm not a drummer, and I'm like sitting there like trying to play like the MIDI keyboard and then going back and quantizing and doing all that stuff.
Do you mix it yourself too?
I do, yeah.
Wow, dude. Where is the best place to find all things MYRONE?
Well, I mean, I'm on all the streaming services. If all else fails, myrone.bandcamp is a great place to visit because every time you buy something off there, I get a little email saying that Trey Xavier bought my album off Bandcamp, and the dopamine just hits my brain cells, and it makes me feel great.
Dude, that I can like plan out the second to be like, boom, and you'll be like, what?
Just like the good chemicals hit. It's great.
If you want to give him the good chemicals and get yourself the good chemicals, get on that SoftShred tip. Thanks so much for coming, dude. This was
thanks
super
so much
fun.
for happening. Thanks so much for happening.
Well, I'll also say you're welcome for happening, because that's something that I do. I exist here in this plane of existence with you.
And on the internet.
Where I'll live until somebody drops an EMP on
until
all
we
of the
decide
Google
that
server
the internet
farm.
is very bad and we should just unplug it.
Yeah, and just go back to the way that it was. Hopefully never. So thanks so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already,
like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Leave a nice comment.
Yeah.
Or leave. You know what?
It's fine.
Bring it on. Actually, no, don't. I am scared.
He won't read the comments. I'll have to read them. So, and we'll see you real soon. Whoa!